What's up out there, friends and family? It is your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you another edition of Motivational Monday. As you begin to come on here, say what's up to your boy. I'm on this new platform, so I can't see people as they're coming out. So as you're joining in, please say what's up, because tonight it is going to be a phenomenal another edition of Motivational Monday. 2 weeks ago, I talked about being called. Last week, I talked about being chosen. But before I go ahead, what I did want to do, I want to catch some of you all up on what we talked about. What's up, Shamika? What's up, Henrietta? Thank you for joining me tonight. Before I get going and breaking this bread, I did want to share with you 2 minutes of last week that was absolutely phenomenal from my YouTube page. Do what you, and that's why I got the latest foundation. I got a latest foundation, ladies and gentlemen, that you being chosen is all about your relationship to the call. This is some deep stuff tonight. This is some deep stuff tonight that's rooted deep down on the inside of you. Chosen ones, let me break bread right now. Chosen ones walk through the valley of the shadow of death, but they will fear no evil, because thy rod and thy staff is with them. You see, called ones, they walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and all they do is complain about how dark it is. They complain about what I lack. They complain about what I don't have. They complain about, oh, woe is me. They complain about how I can't hardly get along. They complain about, but I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, you have been chosen for a time such as this, that whatsoever you shall ask, whatsoever you shall ask. Do you believe that come on, man, I'm talking to y'all. Do you believe that whatsoever you shall ask, the Father in my name will come true? That's the litany test. Can I believe without seeing? That's the see the call, folks. He justifies you, he made you righteous. He did all that stuff when he called you. But the chosen, they have another gear in order that they can walk by the Spirit and not gratify the flesh, that they walk by faith and they not by sight. See, all of these, man, all of these are characteristics of the chosen one. Answer the wake-up call, the alarm. Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed it. Last week was phenomenal. The feedback that we got was off the chains, and tonight shall be no different. No, Ryan, I was coming live. I'll try to get people caught up from last week, man. That stuff was off the chain. What's up, Angelique? I got people chiming on in here. I got YouTube in the house. Angelique, I see you keeping that YouTube hot for us. My sister queen, thank you, Elkie. Ryan, appreciate you joining in. If y'all would, please share, like, host watch parties with this, because we want to make this one go to a whole nother level tonight, because I know this is going to be off the chain. Awaken Your I Am, episode 30. Awaken Your I Am, episode 30. You have been chosen. And tonight, I don't want to go into a long story about how to get into this conversation. I want to hop right to this conversation. We've been talking about the distinction between chosen and being called. It's funny because there's so many people out there. I've been called. I've been chosen. I've been chosen. And you hear that many are called, but few are chosen. But if you ask the majority of people out there, they will all say, I'm chosen. I came to break bread tonight. I want to let you know that you being chosen is all about your relationship to the call. See, narrow is the way and few enter in. I'm going to break bread tonight. Few enter in, but everybody got the lip service about being chosen and don't do the work of the chosen few. I'm going to break bread out there tonight. I am going to break bread. Tonight I want to talk about 4 characteristics of the chosen. 4 characteristics of the chosen. See, last week I gave us the litmus test that if you are bearing fruit, bearing much fruit that remains, then that's part of the chosen category. See, as a part of being as a chosen category, that should be fruit that hangs from your tree. I'm going to break bread. That should be fruit that comes from your tree. You see, we can't claim we're chosen without none of the benefits. I told you last week that there are promises to the chosen. Boy, that there are promises to the chosen. I told you last week that you're supposed to have your youth renewed. That's a promise to the chosen. I told you last night that your mouth is supposed to be satisfied with good things. I told you to say all things work together for our good, that when we're chosen. And last, he would do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or imagine. I am going to break bread tonight. The 4 characteristics of the chosen. Number 1, there is an unwavering belief. The main characteristic, the first characteristic, I call it the cornerstone of what the chosen have, is an unwavering belief. It means that you trust God with your life more than you trust yourself. See, right there, somebody needs to hear that out there. It means that you trust God more with your life than you do yourself. What do you mean, motivational teacher to the masses? I don't trust my I am. Hey, what's up, Tanya? The I am that I was born with, I can't trust it because the man doesn't know his own heart. My normal I am is bound to fail. My normal I am is bound to make unprecedented mistakes. See, that means unwavering means that I trust God with my life more than I trust me with my life. I'm going to break bread with that in a minute because like the name of this whole series is and awaken your I am. Awaken your I am. And awaken I am simply means that I trust the God in me more than I trust my I am. That when I put the super on my natural, I can do exploits. That's an awakened I am. Number 1, it means I trust God's timing for my life. I'm gonna sit back with this one. I think I'm gonna do a lot of teaching tonight. That means I can trust God's timing. There's so many of us that are out of season and we want something so fast and we want it now, and we're part of this microwave society where if I put it in the popcorn in 45 seconds, I'm ready to eat the popcorn. But back in the day when I was growing up, we had the stove and you had to put the kernels in there, and you had to put the top on it, and you had to continuously shake it, not to scorch the corn, that you can get it. It took about 10 minutes to pop good popcorn. But it taught us something about waiting. Yeah, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Yeah, it taught us something about waiting, not waiting in the sense that I got my leg crossed, just waiting, meaning to the fact that I am serving humanity while I await my moment in time. See, I gotta trust to every man God has given a given time and chance. You will have your opportunity, but you have to be prepared in the day of your opportunity. And there are so many people that miss opportunities because they've been so upset about what they don't have that they didn't take time to prepare for the opportunity. Yep, Angelique, you said it. You got to trust God more with my life than I trust myself. A man doesn't know his own heart unless I'm able to walk in his I am. That's an awakened I am. I'm bound to underperform what God has given me to do in this earth. I'm gonna break bread right now. I remember when I was coming up, man, and I wanted to. And I wanted to do something great. Like I knew, like I started out I played ball overseas, and I came back in education, and I knew I was supposed to be making more than 28,000 a year. Hey, what's up, Taylor? Thank you for joining. And I knew I was supposed to be making more than $28,000, and I started selling life insurance with Primerica Financial Services. And I kind of got ahead of myself, meaning that I left my teaching job before I had made my complete income up in Primerica. And it calls for some bad days ahead because I didn't have the financial resources that I needed. But it wasn't because God wasn't providing or that I didn't have the goods on the inside of me. It was just that I moved out of timing. And I'm gonna break bread for some of you out there. Some of you out there, you're believing for the Fortune 500 company. You're believing for millionaire status. You're believing for the business that's deep down on the inside of you. But you got to be willing to grow through and not just go through. And as you're waiting on God's timing, you got to be like a good soldier, boy. You got to be like a good soldier and march at the cadence, although you can't see it. I'm breaking bread right now. That's what it means, trusting God's timing. It doesn't mean that I just sit back and I just chill and just wait for the moment. It means up until that day, I am working as hard as I can to see it through, but believing as much on him as more on him than I am my own works. Boy, God's timing is always perfect. I would never give Christian, my 7-year-old, a loaded 9mm because he's going to hurt me, him, and everybody else around us at that moment. God ain't just a good daddy. He's a great father. He is a great father. And understand that we have to trust we have to trust God's timing. Lean not to our own understanding. Lean not to our own understanding. We have to work patience. Patience is a virtue. Patience builds perseverance. And the thing that I love, see, you're being built, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, I'm going to break bread tonight. I already got my first chill bump. You are being built. See, most people get lucky. Not most people. Some people get lucky. Very few do. But most people sit there in that same situation and tend to believe that their life will be different. Your life will be no different if you choose to do nothing different. But at all the same time, while right now you're building, and I see the same eyes on here every week. This is part of your building process. The same time, while you're stooped down and you're building, that God is working right now on your behalf to awaken your I am. You got to work, prepare, and then you meet the opportunity, and bam, it's looked like it happened overnight, but it was 19 years of building, ladies and gentlemen. I just broke bread, Juan. What's up, Juan? What's up, James? Thanks for joining us. It was 19 years of working, put my hands to the plow. It was 19 years of the grind. I tell you, like, it's amazing when I have a secular job right now. I work for a Fortune 100 company, and it's so funny that I always hear this feedback, man. I've never seen anybody move up as fast as you. And I sit back and I laugh because it ain't the fact that I moved up long. I've been at this company almost 10 years. I've been at this Fortune 100 almost 10 years. But my first 5 years, I never got a promotion. But after my first 5 years, I got a promotion every 2 years. So it looked like I moved faster than everybody else. But at the meantime, man, God was working on my I am. I am going to break bread before this is over tonight. The whole time I was learning how to temper my tongue. And see, for some of us out there, we got to learn how to temper our tongue. For the whole time I was learning how to manage my money. Yeah, for the whole time God was building me into a foundation of which others can lean upon. I just broke bread, ladies and gentlemen. I just broke bread right now. You're being built as a foundation. That when troubles and winds, when coronavirus and sickness and disease comes, that people can prop up against you for strength. You're being built right now. Boy, I'm telling you right now, that should make some of y'all run around your living room to know that you're being built as the foundation. Upon this rock, I will build my Angelique. Upon this rock, I will build my Tanya, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Somebody that ought to make you run right now, understanding that you are a foundation. Come on, boy. Man, I just broke. I'm about to talk myself. Boy, I'm about to run out of here myself. I am a foundation. It took me the first 5 years for my foundation not to be laid, but to have just an inkling of wet concrete before God can even put me in a position to where my I am was ready for another thing. Man, I'm about to break bread. I hear you, Juan. I definitely have to learn to temper my tongue. We all got to learn how to do that, brother, because let me tell you, your prosperity and your success is on the other side. I'm going to get to it in a minute. It's on the other side of building that character. Number one, we have to trust that unwavering belief. We have to trust God's timing. Number two, we have to trust him with our I am. We have to trust God with our I am. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is just flesh and bones. This body, this earth suit, is just flesh and bones. That we came from somewhere to earth, and when we leave here, we're going somewhere else. Don't think that we were just meant to be here for a sparkle and a moment in time. Believe that we are eternal. Believe that God had us in mind from the foundation of the earth. Understand that your I am is strengthened through his I am. Like I said, that unwavering belief is not in this world system. This unwavering belief is not in me, but the unwavering belief is what God can do through me. I just broke bread. I no longer make decisions out of insecurity and fear. Why? Because there's a confidence that comes with knowing that God works in and through me. Man, you got to be kidding me, boy. You ain't got to worry about nobody putting their foot on my neck. Why? Because God lives and works through me. You ain't got to worry about me. You gonna hear out there talking about, well, they cutting at these companies. You ain't got to worry about me coming crying on no motivational money that they cut me. Why? Because I ain't bending my neck down low enough for them to put their knee on my neck. Why? Because the great I am lives through me. Well, that sound kind of arrogant to me. If you knew God lived on the inside of you, you would have some kind of crazy confidence about yourself. I just broke bread. You would have crazy confidence about yourself if you understood who was sitting on your I am. Well, they say it right now. I believe, therefore, come on, Tanya. Come on, Tanya. I believe, therefore, come on, Tanya. You just elevated this conversation. You just elevated this conversation. You got to believe that I don't work. I believe you mean that my confidence doesn't come from flesh and bone. You got to believe your confidence doesn't come from your flesh and bone. Your confidence has to be built in I am. If you get your confidence from what your boss thinks about, oh, your boss can brag on you and all that stuff is good. But if your confidence is built on what your boss said about you and your boss somehow has a bad day and changed their mind about you, it affects your confidence when they say negative things about you. You cannot build your confidence, your building block, on what somebody thinks or says about you. It has to be rooted in what God said about you from the foundation of the earth. I just broke bread. You got to trust him with your I am. You got to trust him. Your I am is the only thing that's in the way of you building your $1 million company. Your I am is the only thing that's sitting in between you having the marriage that you want. Your I am is the only thing that's keeping you from walking in the fullness and totality of what God has already given you. You got to increase your I am, and your increasing your unwavering belief in your I am is more about who your daddy is, more so than who you are. Man, I just broke bread. Yep, Angelique. I ain't bending down low enough for them to put their foot on my neck. You better believe it. My confidence comes from God Almighty. You better believe it. You better believe it, and you better say that. That's your confession. I don't care if the world goes broke. I don't care if they can't print no more money in this world. I'm not a part of this world system. My I am is rooted in who God says I am. He didn't say, oh, when times are good, let the poor say I'm rich. No, I say it no matter what it looks like around me. Like I believe, therefore I speak. Sickness and disease can't come near my body. I don't care if it's Corona, it's Budweiser, it's Miller Lite. Can't none of it come near me. I'm not making in light of fun about what's going on. I know a lot of people have died in the midst of this pandemic, but I'm just telling you that we have to take the posture and position that it may come, but it can't come near me. These jokers fall at my wayside. Why? Because you got an awakened I am. You have an awakened, I'm telling you, man, this thing, I've heard so many testimonies since this I am. I was just talking to a brother who started a company that listens to us, they don't on YouTube, that does bait for catching fish. And he's selling his stuff all over the world right now. He started a few months ago. I'm telling you, his video had almost 13,000 views on it. I'm telling you right now, he did that in the midst of a pandemic. In the midst of a pandemic, people still fishing. And he's found a way to take his sweet bait all across the country. You better awaken your I am. You need to trust God with your I am. Number one, you got to trust him with time. And number two, you got to trust him with your I am. And number three, you got to trust him with your decisions. Even when you don't like the outcome, even when it doesn't go the way the way you thought it should go. I gotta trust God with my decisions. As I was in the gym this morning, I was in the gym this morning and I was listening to a motivational speaker. And the motivational speaker was telling a story saying this guy went to a guru and he pushed him in the water. He said, you got to want to be successful as much as you can breathe. I said, that sounds really good coming from as a story, but in real life, if somebody pushing your head down on the water, it doesn't equate to me maximizing what God has given me. It sounds real good coming when you're motivational speaking, but in the midst of when you got $4 in your checking account, then you got to have an unwavering belief about your I am to keep going. What's up, Stacy? It sounds real good telling the story about you got to want to be successful as much as you want to breathe, but it's a whole different thing when you're sitting in the midst of a pandemic and you just started a business. It's a whole different thing when your life right now is dependent on a restaurant that may or may not be open. That moment you want to breathe ain't gonna help you. It's you having an awakened I am to know that I'm more than this situation right now. That's why I am the motivational teacher to the masses. That's why I am. Man, I'm telling you right now, an awakened I am can change this doggone world. An awakened I am can get you the results that you only dreamed about. When you trust God with your I am, I'm going to break bread. Those decisions, when you don't like the outcome, you got to understand that what you're going through, let's say, for example, man, like all my life, I've been in, since I left education, I've been in sales. And I always wonder, I started out, I was selling Primerica. I became a stockbroker with Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. I became, I left Morgan Stanley. I went to Smith Barney and I did some other stuff in between. I got in the farm. I'm like, God, where does all this connect? And what I learned is that sales wasn't the thing, but because I gave my whole self to sales, because I gave my whole self to something, it taught me the process of what it's going to take to be in this motivational game. When I started at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, it was only one African American within 80 miles being a stockbroker. It was only one. It was only one. I'm walking into Morgan Stanley with a $99 suit on, and I'm asking people to invest millions with me. And see, that taught me, boy, ladies and gentlemen, I managed over $12 million when I was at Morgan Stanley, when I was wearing a $99 suit, and I had shoes, and I had holes in the bottom of my shoes, and I didn't know how I was going to get gas in my car, and I'm asking people to invest their money with me. Man, I'm about to break bread. I am about to break bread. That process taught me how to work by faith. And are you qualified with having negative $20 in your checking account to manage millions? On paper, I'm not. But I believe so much so that God had given me something so special that I was willing to ask people with multi-million dollars to invest with me, and I didn't have it myself. What are you saying, motivational teacher to the masses? That you got to believe so much so in your awakened I am that the results in your bank account or what you see in your life right now don't impact what you believe about yourself. Boy, I'm about to run through this room. If I had a $99 suit on with shoes in the bottom of my feet with no gas in my car, if I believed that was the totality of who Anthony is, I could never ask somebody to invest their money with me. But because I believe that there was something more. You got to believe that there's something more. You got to believe that there's something more. It doesn't matter what it looked like. You got to believe. You got to awaken your I am, that there's something more. I don't care, man. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, my suit, let me tell y'all, this is a true story. My suits were so bad that once I closed a big deal and one of the guys in the office said, man, you know what? I just want to take you to buy you a couple suits to celebrate your closing that big deal. You know really what he was saying? Bro, if you want to keep getting these big deals, you got to get something like this. But God just was testing to see if I'm ready. He had to see was my I am ready. And right after that, I closed another $4 million account. Why? Because it's about who God is through you. Stop looking at your circumstances. Stop looking at what you have physically. And look at what your equity is spiritually. I am the motivational teacher to the masses. As a result of my speaking, coaching, training, I help individuals realize their human capital. That's what I do. I want you to maximize your human capital, and your human capital has very little to do with what you can see right now today. Come on, Stacy, you better step your game up. Something more. Come on, Carrie. But he who he is through you. Come on, Elkie. My wife, you gotta believe, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, I spent 20 minutes on my first point. I felt that thing deep down, like they used to say back in the day, deep down in my knower. I felt that, ladies and gentlemen. I was able to ask not because of not because of how people saw me today, but because I knew there was more. I knew that there was more. And you got to know, it's about who God is through you. You just broke bread. It's about spiritual equity. You just broke bread. And one thing I love about this is that he doesn't care about what color you are. God doesn't care about what color you are. He doesn't care about what gender you are. He doesn't care about what ethnicity you are. He only cares about where is your faith. Where is your faith? Do you not know that your faith is mobile? Yeah, you got to be successful as much as you want to breathe, but you got to be willing to take your faith and put it in who God is through you. I just broke bread. I got to go. Number two. Number one, 4 characteristics of the chosen. Number one, you got to have an unwavering belief. You cannot be tossed to and fro by every wind. Coronavirus, it's a win. It's a GDP, it's a win. You can't be tossed to and fro because who you is in Christ, who God is through you is not determined by what's going on in this world system. We're in it, but we're not of it. Number two, the second characteristic is you got to have character. You have, in order to be chosen, many are called, but few are chosen. Character separates people, ladies and gentlemen. Character is self-control. Good character means that you have traits such as trustworthiness. Are you trustworthy? Can people believe that you're going to do what you say you're going to do? Can people believe that you will cut them a fair deal? Do you go to your job and you give equal days work for equals pay? I know right now they put a price tag on your head. They said you only worth $50, $60. I know they said that. But you got to believe that whatever they put on your head ain't what you worth anyway. So if you believe you worth $70, then you got to put in work like you worth $70 a day. I just broke bread. I just broke bread. I saw Tanya had a 10-hour jury-a-thon. That tells me that you believe that there's something special. Why? Because you're willing to go above and beyond the call. We should be more concerned with our character than our reputation. Character is who you really are. Your reputation is what they see you as. Big difference. You have to become of no reputation, but your character has to be top notch. Are you four characteristics to character? Number one, you have to be trustworthy. Can I trust you? Can I trust you? Number two, you have to be responsible. Responsibility. You have to give a response for your ability. Ladies and gentlemen, your I am is all about you being responsible for who God says you are. It's your response to your ability. See, at the moment when I was asking folk to give me their money, Oak Tree Strong, I love it, Stacy. Karen said, be steadfast like a tree planted by the rivers. Come on, man. Y'all about to take me somewhere else. Planted by the rivers of water. See, your response to your ability through God, it what determines your trustworthiness. If you're cheating, robbing, and stealing, it says that I don't believe that God can do what he said he's going to do through me. It's all about an awakened I am. And a person like the prison are full of people who lack to know who they are. I'm going to break bread right now. The reason why I lashed out in anger and I shot somebody is because my I am made me feel like that vengeance was mine. My I am told me that I couldn't manage my emotions. The reason why somebody in jail right now and robbed the bank because they didn't believe that their gift was going to make room for them right now at the end. I'm going to break bread. They didn't believe that their gift was going to make room. The person that's sitting in prison right now for selling drugs. My dad was in and out of prison for selling. My dad was brilliant, but in and out of jail for selling drugs. Why? Because he didn't believe that his I am can do it legally. So he chose to do it illegally. I'm going to break bread in a minute. My question is, do I respond? Uh-oh, here we go. This is a bread breaking moment. Am I responding to my ability, or am I responding through God's ability through me? My response shows my ability. Boy, I just broke bread. I am a thief. No, sir. They need Jesus. You better tell them. They need to have an awaken I am through Christ, knowing that God works through them. And see, most of us, truth be told, most of us make decisions based on what we believe about ourselves. Truth be told, we make decisions. We don't respond to the God's ability through us. We respond through our natural ability through our own self. I just broke bread right there. Number 3 is courage. In the face of adversity and do what's right. Do you have the courage to stand right there in front of fear and make the decision that you know is unpopular? Do you have the courage that when your boss's boss says you should be zigging, and you know zagging is wrong, zigging is wrong, you should be zagging. Do you have the courage in front of your boss's boss to make the decision to zag? Yeah, I'm going to break bread right there. That's courage. That's courage. Faith is not the opposite of fear. Courage is the opposite of fear. What's up, Tashana? Thank you for joining us. And number 4 is fairness. It's fairness. Number 4 is fairness. Are you fair to people around you? All of these are cornerstones of character. Fairness, like one of the things that I love about my life. My walk, his plan. Say it, Karen. One thing I love about my life, that when I die and I pass on, like you will have millionaires at my funeral, and you'll have people that barely make it. Why? Because, man, I am lifting as I climb. Like, are you fair with everybody, or do you just tend to treat people better that you see can help you get to where you want to be, and people that cannot help you get to where you want to be, you treat them like they filthy rags? Or do you see yourself as a conduit? I'm about to break bread. Do you see yourself as a conduit to the goodness of who God is through you? Boy, come on and break bread. Come on and break bread. You got to see yourself as a conduit system to distribute the wealth of which God is through you. I just broke bread, Q. I just broke bread. Oh, you are a conduit system. Once you start wrapping your mind around that you are a conduit system, your life was absolutely changed. 4 characteristics of the chosen. Number 1 is unwavering belief. Number 2 is character. Number 3 is compassion. Boy, I love that word. Compassion. Compassion is the ability to look beyond your pain to see the pain of others. You want to know what made Jesus so special? His gifting was compassion. Oh my goodness, I'm about to break bread. See, there are too many selfish people that because they can't see the needs of others, they can't experience the fullness of who God is through them. Let me break bread. Because when you're only concerned about your lot, you miss the needs of the people. And in the midst of the needs for the people is where you come up with inventions. That's where you have great ideas. In the midst of looking at the needs of the people and having compassion is where your $1 million idea comes from that place. Your it will be birthed. Come on, man. Your it will be birthed out of your compassion. Whatever God gave you will be birthed out of your compassion. I talked to the brother that started Sweet Bakes and who's blowing up right now. And I asked him, I was like, man, why? I said, man, why you? And I selling bait and show people how you create these little devices to be able to find the fish. He said, man, I just caught fish better than everybody else. And I thought more people should know this. And he was looking, his compassion led him to start that company. His compassion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a person that lack compassion, you can never experience the fullness of who God is through you. If you're selfish and you're only concerned about you and your lot in life, your big old house, your fancy cars, your nice clothes, your $2,000 purses. If you're only concerned about those things, you'll never experience the fullness of who God can be through you. I just broke bread. Right now, you're wondering. There are people out there right now wondering, like, what's going on in my life right now? What's going on? Why am I not where I'm supposed to be right now? Why am I not getting everything I want right now? Because you're not realizing that we got to adjust our focus. That when we believe that I am is living on the inside of me, now my focus shifts from just pure my needs, but to the needs of those around me. Stacy just said it. Start from a pure place with good intentions, and it will be abundant. Yep. And then Karen just said it will impregnate you. Compassion for others. Stacy said, I like to help the janitors too. Fairly easy for accepting me from my friends and family and cousins. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to live from a place of compassion. Compassion means, what separates compassion from empathy? I can have empathy and feel what you're going through, but compassion requires me to take action. I just broke bread. Compassion requires me to take action. When I started Williams and Williams LLC, when we started Williams Inspires, I was thinking, like, man, there's so many people out there that grew up in my situation. Like, there's so many people that grew up that didn't have it. There's so many people, like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not your runner. I know that I sound running the mill, but I'm about to break bread. I'm not your running the mill motivational speaker. I've been over to 7 countries. I work for 5 Fortune 500 companies or less. How? How coming from a small town in Waverly, Alabama? How coming from, ladies, because I've worked these principles. And if you work these principles, they will work for you in every facet of your life. There is a place where you can have a great family. Q just sent me a video that I just listened to. There is a place where you can have money at the end of the month and support your passions. There's a place where you can have a healthy marriage, but it's going to require you to have some compassion. Like, in order to improve your marriage, you got to have compassion on your spouse. Yep. In order to improve your marriage, you got to understand that he or she works just like you do, and I got to put some of this work here or there. If the more compassion you have, it's only going to elevate your place in life. I just broke bread. Compassion means to suffer with. It requires that you take action. Every Monday, if I'm on here 45 minutes, it's probably taking me 5 hours to prepare for 45 minutes. Why? Because I believe that if you're going to give me your time, I need to have some fresh bread for you. That's my level. If you give me your time, I want nothing in return other than for you to walk this out in your life and let your boy know when you start getting your results. Because why? I got compassion. I know that there's greatness looking at me right now. I know that there's something special on the inside of you right now. See, I don't believe, this is the difference between me and motivational speakers. I don't believe that there are winners and losers in life. I believe that people that knows how to win, people that's learning how to win, people that has learned how to win. It's wherever you are in that process, ladies and gentlemen. I know that there's winners on here. I don't believe in there are losers on this list. I know, but many of us in different places of our process of learning how to win. When I had that $99 suit on, and people in my office had $1,500 suits, and matter of fact, the suit that the guy bought me after I closed that big deal cost $1,500. I went from a $99 suit to a $1,500 suit in one day. And it wasn't the fact that I was a loser in life. It was just the fact that I haven't learned the process of winning yet. My I am wasn't completely awakened, and I could not outperform a sleeping I am. And the same thing with you, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that in life, I failed over and over again. I made some mistakes. My life has not been perfect. Nobody's was. It's not the fact that your life hasn't been perfect. It's just the fact that I have to learn. I have to increase my I am to allow God's I am to work through me. That's the only deficiency in your life. It ain't that when I get there, the business deal fail. It ain't about the business deal. It's more about your I am. The business deal is a reflection of what you believe on the inside. I was asking folk for money because I believe they should give it to me. Now, I just passed the Series 7 test, Series 26 test. I ain't know a whole lot, but I did the work. I passed the test. You need to invest with me. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe that they should give me that money. Because why? And I drew people that wanted to invest in me. And I'm telling you right now, it's the same thing for you all. As you start to increase who you are on the inside, you will draw the natural resources that it takes for you to get to the next level. But you gotta have compassion. And not last but not least, 4 characteristics of the chosen. Unwavering belief, number 1. Number 2, you have to have character. Number 3 is compassion. And number 4 is my favorite one. I'm gonna see, can I do this in 3 minutes? You gotta be committed. You gotta be doggone committed to something bigger than who you are. That's why I told you that compassionate piece is very, very important, because if you're not, listen, if I was doing this for me and I come on here week after week after week and I never see the masses, I'll be ready to turn around, put it in and walk away if this was about me and my ego and narcissism. And see, that's what it is about a lot of us. We're narcissistic and we believe that God should do it for me in the time that I should do it. And I believe I should have it like I should have it my way. I believe it should be done in these 4 steps and it should take 4 months to get it done. No, ma'am, no, sir. That's not how this works. Before you ever walk in it, and this to the spiritual man, let him hear. Before you ever walk in it, you must walk in it. Until you be where you're committed enough, come hell or high water, I have to see it through. Until you're committed enough, that I'm going to walk through the fire to see it through, you can't have that thing. You got to be willing to work day and night. You got to be willing to give up sleep for it. You got to be willing to put your eyes on the prize and not look back. You got to be willing to press toward the mark of the high calling of whatever that thing is that he's giving you, until you've proven that you want it to the sometime, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to feel like to the point of death. When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, it felt like death, until you're able to push, until you're able to say right now, ladies and gentlemen, the hardest thing is to push past what I can see. Until you're willing to push past what you can see to what you believe, you cannot manifest it. And truth of the matter is that most of us, human beings, when I say most of us, human beings are so lukewarm and they to and fro all over the place so often that they cannot stick with one thing long enough to see the results of the seeds that they've sown. I just broke bread. But to those who have the uncanny ability to sit through, to go through, to stand, even when it's not popular, to you will be the rewards, man. On the other side of your obedience, Karen, you just said it, is your reward. And I'm not talking about the by and by in heaven. I'm talking about on earth. But you got to be willing to have unwavering, uncompromising faith to believe that, man, God, I'm crazy enough. I'm going to use this word. I'm stupid enough to believe that you could do this through me. Oh, you just a little kid from Allen. You grew up in the dirt floor. It was 8 of y'all in a 3-bedroom trailer. How you gonna go and run a Fortune 100 company? You know why? Because the great I am works through me. Oh, you just a little dude. You went to Low High School. Your school was always on academic probation. I don't even see how you got into Vanderbilt. I definitely don't see how you graduated. Well, I don't see how you gonna get the masses to you. Why? Because I am is attracting the masses to me. I don't have to go get the masses to me. I am is attracting the masses to me. I ain't got to go get one human soul. I am is attracting the masses to me. I'm going to break bread on this thing in a minute. And my last story, ladies and gentlemen, my last story, but I got to break bread. I got to break bread. And I always talk about Steve Harvey, and I always talk about J.K. Rowling, and I always talk about Tyler Perry. I always talk about all these famous people that we know in our society today. Today, I want to give you another example. I want to give you the first couple of faith. Well, I want to talk about Abraham and Sarah. When God told Abraham and Sarah that they were going to have a baby at 90, they both laughed. Like, you can't get no baby through. You can't get no 90-year-old no baby. This is impossible. But then one day, I am about to break bread. Then one day, Abraham and Sarah laid down together and knew one another. And boy, at an old age, when people said it could not be done, is when they bore a son named Isaac, who should be the father of the many nations. But my point of this story is that your dream should be so big and should be so impossible that even sometimes when you say it, you are like, man, can he really do that through me? Because if it's not that big, then it's not faith. If God had came to Abraham and said, Abraham, you're going to have a baby when you're 27, it would have required very little faith to have a baby at 27. But when he comes to you at 90 and say, you're going to have a baby, that requires a different level of faith. And see, right now, some of you all are going at your life like like God said, you're going to have a baby at 27. Okay, it don't take a whole lot of faith to do that. But I'm telling you right now, you need to build your dream so big that you have to upgrade your level of conviction in order to see it through. I just broke bread. Q said, our only true job is to believe that the Lord will do his job. That's it. And I'll add one more thing, to believe that he can do his job through me. That's my favorite part of my life now. See it before it. Hey, Stacy, you broke bread. You got to see it before you can see it. On the other side of our obedience to endure, the end is to receive our just reward. God can do the impossible through you. Great faith. That's the key. He can do it through you. Tonight, I talked about 4 characteristics of the chosen. You know, like these days, ladies and gentlemen, I am in a different place in my life. I am in a place right now, I got to break bread. But about 2 years ago, I would get on here and I would try to say what's popular. And I would try to say what other motivational speakers were saying in my own way. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you that I have found a flow. I have found where the rivers of the living waters are. I have found where I am a tree planted by rivers of living water. I have found Jacob's well. I have found it, ladies and gentlemen, and it's sitting on top of your I am, wrapped in who God is through you. I am chosen. I like that, Mom. I dare 10 people to put, I am chosen. And you make that commitment every doggone day. I'm telling you, I am no longer, I ain't gonna lie. About 2 years ago, Q, I was lukewarm and passive and trying to recruit the masses. But now with an awakened I am, man, I say what need to be said. And I dare somebody to believe it enough to say, I can walk this out in my life. And I guarantee you, not many days from now, you'll be sitting in the manifestation of what you believe about your chosenness. I just made a word up. Your chosenness. Yep, that's what we do here. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, there's a place. Man, I am so excited this week. I have my first live speaking engagement since coronavirus this Thursday. It's going to be awesome in Glenn County. I am so looking forward to doing that. So you all keep me in your prayers, keep me in your thoughts. I am going to break bread, socially distance with masks on. I'm gonna do like President Obama at the funeral. I'm gonna take it off right before I get the mic. I am going to break bread right now. And I dare for y'all, man, I'm telling you right now, if you could believe this stuff, man, I'm telling you, your life can be radically different. I'm telling you right now, your life is a testimony. Your life is a living letter. Your life is meant to scream to the glory. Man, nobody need to look to the sun and to the moon for works. Your life should be the work of the glory of God in this earth. He's looking for signs and wonders. It's people looking for signs and wonders. Your life is the sign and your works is the wonder because he's doing it through you. You don't need to look for the sun to be covered in blood. You don't need to look for locusts coming over the hill. People can look at your life and see signs and wonders because they know where you started and the results that you have in your life. They look at it and say, man, I ain't got nothing like that around my life. How in the world you doing? Your life is a sign and a wonder. Boy, I am going to break bread. Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited about this week. Yeah, I got my first live message, so it's going to be off the chain this week. I might pop on later on this week because I'm just feeling like that this week. So y'all keep your boy up in your thoughts and prayers, and I'll tell you what, y'all have been phenomenal tonight. Thank y'all for chiming in, joining into this Motivational Monday. You all are the reason why we do this, man. I'm telling you, if you can be consistent, and if you become not only a hearer, but a doer of these words I am speaking, your life can be radically different. I'm sitting here, I got to get off this thing, but I told y'all the story of me in a $99 suit asking people to invest millions with me. Now I'm telling you right now, trust these words that are coming out of my mouth. If you can grab hold to these words and start to implement them in your life will be radically different and you will do exploits. Not just normal stuff. I ain't talking about stuff that 50% do. I'm talking about 2% stuff. I'm talking about the top 2% stuff. That's what we're going to get into next week. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the motivational teacher to the masses. I want to tell you all, thank y'all for hanging in here with me 50 minutes and your life will be radically different. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out. Y'all have been amazing tonight.